welcome back to It's Only Paper. I'm Lisa and today we're going to be talking about favourite tools. These are my favourite crafty tools that I use in my studio all the time. It's so easy sometimes to get excited by something that you've seen online or that you see others using. You then splurge and you sometimes have to save really hard for these items. You get them and then you feel really disappointed. Or sometimes it can be the cheapest item that's just a couple of pounds and you just think, how can I have lived all this time without it? So I always think an item that needs to be regarded as a favourite item is something that if it were to break, would you replace it straight away? Would you miss it? So all of these items today I am sharing with you that I use loads, and if they were to break, I would definitely need a replacement straight away. So I really hope that you'll enjoy this and I hope maybe you'll find it useful. Please subscribe to my channel if you love journaling, stationery, playing with paper, anything like that. And I'd love to hear from you and find out what your #1 tools are that you can't live without. I think I'm going to start with a couple of items that I have been using forever since I started up my craft business, which was 2003. The first item, which you'll see me use loads, is my large ATG gun. This is for my double-sided tape. However, I need to replace the tape and it's really expensive at the moment, so I haven't been using it as much. I've been using it very sparingly and I've been using up all the rolls of just regular double-sided tape in my drawer because I have loads at the moment, so I've been using those instead. But I haven't used the Diddy ones for years. I love my refillable. And I started using one in probably was about 2003. I had the yellow one, I've still got that, but it had become quite messy and I really wanted a pink one. And I bought a replacement. When did I get this? Maybe 3 years ago, something like this, something like that. But that's all I've had, and considering I had a wedding stationery business before, up until 7 years ago, and I used it constantly all day and all evening, sticking wedding stationery together, it got very well used. So I highly recommend these. If you use double-sided tape a lot, they are a bit on the pricey side at the moment, but if you use it a lot, you'll definitely get your money's worth. Another tool that I've been using since my wedding stationery business is this. It is an Avery trimmer. I've bought others, they've never lived up to this one. This is the second one that I've bought since I've had my business. I even bought this one cracked on my old one and they sent me out a free replacement. Again, I had my first one in 2003. When you think to all the wedding stationery I have cut, all the trimming for invitations, menus, place cards, all the inserts, order a service, you name it, I've made it, table plans, everything has been cut on here. And obviously I've always been a scrapbooker all those years. It has been used constantly, and the original cost me £20. I think the replacement was quite similar when I had to buy one a few years ago. Like I said, I've had a spare part sent to me as well. I cannot fault this trimmer at all. I get asked a lot about what trimmer I use. I love it so much, and when that one goes I will instantly buy the same replacement. You will also see me use this little mini trimmer. It's an A5 trimmer from, oh gosh, what was it? What was the name of this company? Creating Memories. That will bring back memories for lots of you. Again, it's probably not far off that age, maybe 17 years old, something like this. It's brilliant as it's compact. You can take it if you're going on a crop, if you're crafting at a friend's. It's never been blunt. It's always cut really well. It's got a little drawer on the side here actually, which I never use, which I can't get open anyway. But I use this a lot on my desk. It is quite handy. But I have to say, if it were to break, I wouldn't replace it. I would stick with this. But then I don't go out crafting lots. I tend to just craft at home these days. This is another one of those tools that I've had for years and I wouldn't live without now. It's a heat gun. I'm going to confess to something really bad now. Before I had a heat gun, I used the craft room here, my studio, used to be a garage. We had it converted in 2003 and I would craft from the garage and I would use the paint stripper. as a heat gun. It was very dangerous. I would burn paper if I held it on there. It would singe. It was very dangerous and would really smell as well. So definitely don't do that. Go with the safe option. Use a heat gun. Do use it wisely though. It is hot. You are using it on paper. You can scald yourself. You can cause fires, so do go careful with them. If you are an impatient crafter like me, a heat gun definitely needs to be on your list. I love this little shelf of mine. It's got some of my favorite tools. Let's take out this one. This one is also a favorite from my wedding stationery days. It is We Are Memory Keepers. They make them in a lovely teal color now. I have been tempted, but there's nothing wrong with this one, so I don't need to splash the cash on it. It's a hole punch. I love it because it's got two settings. It's got a larger hole and a smaller hole. Back in the day, anyone else used to love setting eyelets. It has an eyelet setter as well. But I love it because I used to be able to make all my order of service or menus for tying ribbon. I could easily put the paper in there and there was loads of space. It just works so well, and now I use them on mini books and planners and all sorts. It's definitely a tool that I wouldn't be able to live without. Talking of eyelet setters, I've just taken my basket down from my shelf. I can't get rid of mine. It just holds so many memories. I've actually got a hole in my fireplace where I used to use it on there. I would use the little hammer, bash out the hole, and then you set your eyelets. I used to love this, so that's more of a special memory, the reason I've kept that. I've also got my Sucess hammer. You used to punch out the the punches with those Sucess punches. I don't use those anymore, but I do use the hammer. Also got my circle cutter as well, which I love. This is another one from Creative Memories. Again, it's from my wedding stationery business days. I would use it to make table plans long before all the digital electronical, whatever you call them, cutters came out. But I still use this a lot. It's very, very handy. This, by the way, just in case you're wondering, it's very messy. It's actually a handheld drill. I got it free with a Craft magazine subscription. Goodness knows how many years ago, but it's done me well and I've used it lots and lots. I love that little tool basket. It's really handy and I think it looks really cute up there. In here, I have loads and loads of my favourite punches. Would you say that these fall into the tools bracket? I think I would. As you know, if you watch my videos, I use punches a lot. I still really love them. And these are my absolute favourite, the EK Success border punches. I still buy these. This was my most recent one I found on eBay, including delivery. £5.49, I think it was. Well chuffed with that. Where's my favourite one? Oh, where is my favourite one? Oh, no. Oh, here it is. I love this one. You can see this one's well used. I use this one the most out of all of them. I do quite often forget what punches I have. I've also got 2 or 3 other big baskets of them under my desk. I need to every now have a little look through and remind myself exactly what I've got. But I still love a border punch. Anyone else still partial to a craft punch? Are you ready for my next favourite? This is a newer one. You might hear it just starting up. I absolutely love this. After slating them for years, I bought one, I think it was gifted to me by my husband for Christmas, 2013. It stopped working after 3 months. We got a replacement, but it didn't run like the other. I could never ever get it to work. And so many people kept telling me to get one of these. It's a photo printer, it's the Selphy printer, and I have fallen well and truly in love with it. And it's so pretty. I love this so much. I would definitely replace this. It is my favourite way to print photos now. It's so easy. I thought I would just show you quickly. It all runs from an app. Got the photos already. I use the Canon Selphy app. There's my photos. I've selected 5. The thing I like about this, it's the shuffle layout. You can choose. So I like that one. I might just change them though. Let's have a look. And you just click on the shuffle and then it moves them around, and you can keep pressing it to see which one you're happy with. I am going to go with this one. Let's press print. And it's just so quick and easy, and I use this all the time for my journaling now. There we go. By the way, I will leave any links below. I've got most of these items in my Amazon storefront, so I'll leave links below if you want to go and check them out. I love watching these photos print. It never bores me. I always get excited. Let me know how you print your photos. What do you use? I think it's nearly done. There we go. I'm super happy, and these will be appearing on my next journal page. Now, when I spoke about tools that you can't live without that may only cost a couple of pounds, I had just one in mind, and that is a simple little paper piercer. I remember using these to sew on my pages, or not using these, using a needle and pushing it through the cardstock to do the holes, and then for the sewing I used to make my fingers bleed on the back of the, even though they were the thicker embroidery needles, my fingers would be so sore if there was a lot of sewing to be done on a page. One day I was in a little store, it was an evening, doing an online craft class. It wasn't online, it was in a store, sorry, it was way before online days, probably about 17 years ago. I was with a friend and she said, you need one of these. She went and got it off the store, off the shop front. £2 it cost, and it changed my life. My fingers were no longer sore, and this is the same one that I've been using all that time. I love it. It's feeling a little bit on the wobbly side. I may need to replace it soon, but it's held up so well, and no more sore fingers. So if you like sewing on paper, a paper piercer is definitely something you need. Another more kind of like newer tool for me is my binding kit tool. Again, I can't believe how much it's changed my life. I was trying to bind things or make holes with things, and using things like my paper pierce and that, or using the hole punch, but they were just too wide. And then I got told about one of these, and it's made life so much easier. It came with a creaser. It's come with, I can never remember what these are called, you know, to make the holes for when you make your binding. I'll show you actually how it works. It's come with binding wax thread, an amazing selection of needles. There's loads and loads of bits and pieces in here. It's got little cutters as well, and I think it costs about £8, something like that. I popped it in a little tin, and it's just made my life so much easier. I've made a few of these now, but this is just an example of how I've used to bind my journals together, as you can see, to make your own signatures, and then you sew them inside. You can make the holes. You've got the lovely thick needles to go through. This is actually some of the wax thread there, and again there as well. I'm really grateful to whoever told me about the binding kit. I think it was in our Patreon group we were talking about it. It's made my life so much easier. I could not live without this little thing ever again. I think that wraps it up. I think that's all of my favourite tools that I use for whatever reason, whether it be because I use them every day or whether it be just because I absolutely love them. I think if I had to pick a favourite, it would be my Selphy printer. This is my absolute joy in my studio. If it was for what I use the most, it would probably be my trimmer. That's probably been used the most out of anything in this room over all these years. But thank you for joining me. I would love to hear from you. I would love to hear your experiences with things like photo printers, trimmers, things like that. What do you love that you use loads and loads and loads, and what's that one item, if it were to break, you would need to replace instantly, that you just couldn't live without? Thank you so much. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If there's any other content like this that you would like me to film, please let me know. I'll speak to you soon. Take care. Bye.